Guys, so we have a video again this week. I was gonna write about biomarkers, and I'll still post that later. But for the past few weeks, I have been getting a lot of questions about balance. It doesn't surprise me. I feel like there's something around this time of the year, but people been trying to ask me about balance with regards with their nutrition, like how to balance, like going out with friends and staying within your goals, or how to balance having a very consistent fitness regimen or fitness routine with vacations or with like a very busy work schedule, things like that, right? Like how to balance different forces that are pulling in what seems to be opposite directions. I love this topic because I love the topic of balance, because it's a topic that allows me to send a message very clear to my people, and is that what we can learn in training, in physical training, can transfer very nicely to our lives. So this is how this works for balance. So balance in training is the controlling of unwanted movement. So what does that mean? Think of a handstand. So when a person is learning a handstand, the first thought that comes to their mind and what they're trying to do is to be as rigid as possible and hold everything tight, nothing moves. And that actually leads to falling. That doesn't lead to balance, that leads to the opposite. Balance, if you think out when you're standing, you're not like super tight, holding everything together. If you pay attention, you feel little movement in your feet. You can do it with just one foot, and you feel little movement in your feet, but you're not trying to keep nothing moves. You're just letting it happen. And the more relaxed you are, and the more relaxed you can be, controlling that unwanted movement, the more balanced you are. So balance is not rigidity. That is the first most important thing that you learn when you're training. And nothing teaches you this like a handstand. A handstand is a beautiful skill just because of that teaching, and just because it takes so long to get, and it's just because when you really want and you really work for it, it's a humbling experience. People think like, I can do a handstand in the wall, I'm there, I'm gonna get a handstand in 3 months. No, it takes a while, unless you're a kid. But if you're older, it takes a while. And it requires mastery. But it teaches you exactly that balance is not rigidity, that balance is controlling unwanted movement. And that is easy to understand intellectually. It's very different to understand it physically. And I feel like it's exactly when you understand it physically that it transfers better to your life. But it doesn't matter, because with the concept, just the concept, and you can do it just on one foot. Standing just on one foot, close your eyes, you'll feel it. With that experience, we can use that idea to our lives. So, easy case, the case of nutrition. How do we apply this idea of balance to our lives? You don't have to be super strict with your diet, in the sense that it doesn't have to be rigid. The moment it's rigid is the moment that you deviate very easily. If I'm very rigid with my nutrition plan and I go out with my friends and that particular restaurant doesn't have my perfect meal, and I'm super rigid, and I'm like, well, then two things happens. Either you cannot eat, it can be bad, it depends on where you are, or then you like say fuck it and eat it all, right? So that rigidity doesn't help. Instead, control unwanted movement. So if you find yourself in that situation in a restaurant, just make the best choice with what you have. Oh, my computer decided to talk here. Just make the best choice to what you have. Control that unwanted movement. It's gonna pull you here. Let's say somebody order a fucking I don't know, some Pop-Tarts. I don't know, whatever it is. You order a salad. You control that unwanted movement, right? Like, it's gonna try to pull you here, and you're gonna just relax, be flexible, and do your best choice. It's simple, right? The same thing happens when, like, I was just on the road, and I was confronted to like this. It was a way suboptimal eating all the time because it was Colombian. I was in Colombia, and Colombian eating is heavy on the carbs, way heavy on the carbs. It's carbs, carbs, carbs. It's potatoes with rice and pasta, that kind of thing. So what can you do in that situation? You have to be flexible. There's no fats. You still need those carbs. So double your intake of carbs, not fat, protein. Just take out a little bit of the carbs and be cool with it. That's your best choice right there. Be flexible. Control on unwanted movement and make your best choice. Same thing happens when, for example, you have a super busy day and everything is pulling you out from your workout, for example. At the end, you have 7 minutes to work out. What do? Those all were all wanted movement, all wanted forces. You could be rigid and say like, I don't have my hour to work out. Or you could say like, I have 7 minutes. What am I gonna do with this time? Burpees, of course. Burpees is the answer to that. And that's balance, right? Like that is, you're always, the vast majority of your life, you're gonna have that hour to train, but sometimes you will not. There's a force that is gonna pull you away from that, and instead of falling, you have to do your next best choice. You have to control that unwanted motion. And that's how you keep balance. It's not perfect, no, because no handstand is rigid. There's always a little bit of movement. As soon you'll feel it in your hands. It looks from the outside like it's perfect. It's not. There's always something pulling you, and it's never gonna be super straight. There's always gonna be a little bit of deviation. You just have to control that deviation. Accept that deviation. Let it happen. Don't fight it, and do your next best choice. So that is what a handstand has taught me, basically. Excuse me. So I hope that helps, and I hope you can apply it to your life, and I hope you apply it not just in the specificity of balance, but try to be more reflective of your practice, of your training, right? Try to really take teachings from there to your life, because that will keep you motivated, that will keep you working, and that will make your time more productive, right? Like, get more than a sweat from your training. That is it. Stay balanced, stay focused.